Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is a continuation of Prof S and Pastor Chris Oyakilome. Some of you are saying different things, but one thing I want to tell you is this. I always say this: as long as you carry the cross, you say you are Christ-like, a lot of things will come to you, either they are truth or not. A lot will come to you, and Christ said this to us before now. Watch this video and I will see you at the end of the video.
Greetings, people. It's Mr. PDT yet again on another episode of the Enlightenment series. The previous episode that I submitted, it got so many heads spinning, attracting threats, death threats from Christ Embassy members. They were not happy with the fact that I was alleging or merely reporting or challenging them to critically analyze the possibility of Chris Oyakilome being Desmond's biological father. The questions that were raised: it's practically impossible for Chris to be the biological father of Desmond, because what that means is Chris should have had a thing with his own sister for there to be Desmond, or Chris could have used his sister as a surrogate, and then Desmond was born. Some even came and disputed that no, the father of Desmond is actually Dr. Ken Wogiran. I'm sure that is his last name. They've tried and they're saying all sort of things that no, Kathy was married before, long time before, and that's when she conceived Desmond. A lot of things are flying and none of what people are saying is factual. There are people that are just saying what they were told by Oyakilome himself and his administration. And we know Oyakilome is a big pathological liar. If I could take you back in the memory lane, Oyakilome is one man who came and said the 5G is Satanism. Oyakilome, he did that. I'll even give you another revelation. The reason why he was attacking the 5G network is because one of the pioneers of it was Strive Masiwa, one billionaire from Zimbabwe, who left his shrine. He was one of the biggest financial supporters of Chris Oyakilome, Mr. Strive. I have so much respect for the brother. But he left Chris Oyakilome's shrine after Chris Oyakilome divorced Anita. And Anita was very close to the Masiwa family, and they knew everything that Chris was doing. His adulterous behavior and his unreasonable behavior, as it was stated by Anita in the court papers. But that's not the topic of the conversation. I just wanted to make a point how much Chris can lie. He started discrediting the 5G network so that everyone who was following Strive Masiwa would not support the initiative. That's how much Chris can lie. About the corona, should I go deeper? The COVID, should I go deeper? The vaccines, should I go deeper? He came up with a lot of conspiracy theories and claimed that he was being inspired by the Holy Spirit and claimed he was hearing all those things from God himself. And none of those things were proven to be correct. The point I'm trying to make here is he is a master manipulator and he's a pathological liar. Take it the way you want it, but that's just the truth. Now let's get back to the issue of Desmond. One would ask, why is it your business? Why are you so concerned about Desmond? Of what interest is Desmond? Why are you trying to establish a relationship between him and Chris Oyakilome, or a relationship between him and Ken Wogiran, or a relationship between him and Kathy, Chris Oyakilome's sister? Why is it all that important? This boy called Desmond has caused so much pain in the lives of young girls. This boy called Desmond, he has been sexually abusing a lot of young girls, misleading them, promising them job opportunities, flying them all the way to Nigeria. And Kathy is aware of all these things. Chris Oyakilome is aware of all these things. Because this young boy called Desmond introduces all these girls that he imports, should I call it importing, or that he brings to Nigeria. He introduced all of them to Chris Oyakilome. He introduced all of them to his alleged mother, Kathy Oyakilome. And I questioned who could be his father. if not Chris Oyakilome, simply because I'm of the highest belief that Chris is behind all the activities that are being conducted by this young boy called Daysman. So it's very important that we establish if he is Chris Oyakilome's biological father, biological son, I mean, or if he is Kathy's biological son, or if he is Mr. Wogiren's biological son. That will help us a lot in dissecting the matter that I want to bring forth to you. I have heard different interviews with young girls that were manipulated and abused by this young man called Daysman. And this young man called Daysman confessed a whole lot of things to some of these young women that he brought to Nigeria, the same way TB Joshua brought different disciples from overseas and ended up holding them hostage and ended up making them his workers. The difference between TB Joshua and Daysman, Oyakilome, is Daysman will bring them and make them his wives and start having intercourse with each and every one of them in the same room, on the same bed, making them sex workers. When you think Boko Haram is bad, when you think Boko Haram is worse, I need you to reconsider. These men you call your spiritual fathers are worse. And Judaism is a hybrid of extreme occultism and extreme sorcery. So his mere existence is a threat to humanity, to young girls out there, to the girl child, to your daughters. And people like Oyakilome and his entire clan cannot be investigated. No one will look into it. And when we bring matters of this nature, I'm just trying to warn you to keep your children, your daughters, in safe places. Do not allow them to visit any of these shrines. If you take note, Daysman does not even use Wogiren's last name. If the recent or the current husband of Kathy is the father of Daysman, why doesn't Daysman use Ogirem or Wogiren as his last name? Daysman uses Oyakilome. He is Daysman Oyakilome, not Daysman Wogiren. So what are the chances that Chris Oyakilome used his own sister as a surrogate to give birth to Daysman? Or what are the chances that Chris Oyakilome actually had an affair with another woman and gave birth Daysman Oyakilome and took the child and gave it to Kathy so that Kathy could raise the boy? And the boy grew up believing that Kathy is the mother. What are the chances? Because remember, the reason why Anita left was because of Chris Oyakilome's adulterous behavior and unreasonable behavior. Don't take for granted the reasons why Anita left. The reasons she stated in the court papers was Chris Oyakilome's adulterous behavior and unreasonable behavior. So what are the chances that Chris Oyakilome actually had another relationship with another woman and ended up birthing this young boy who is causing so much calamity in the lives of innocent women, young girls? Or another extreme case, another extreme scenario, he could have maybe just used another woman or just a random woman from these baby factories, dropped this sperm for surrogacy, and the boy was born, and the boy was given to Kathy for Kathy to raise the boy. All those are scenarios that are possible. And I know most of you will be saying, do you have evidence? When you ask for evidence of allegations of this nature, what form of evidence are you really asking for? Tell me, if you say you want me to give you evidence, what evidence do you want? A DNA test? Even if a DNA test is conducted, the boy is likely to have a DNA sample of Kathy if Kathy was used as the surrogate. And he will still be having a DNA sample of Chris Oyakilome. You get it? Even if the DNA test is done against Chris Oyakilome alone, the boy will still have Chris Oyakhilome Semple. Because Kathy Oyakhilome are siblings. So the DNA can only be done with the alleged father of Desmond, who is Ken Wogeren. If we are to find no any connection between Desmond and his alleged father, who happens to be Kathy's husband, then you will know that the boy is Chris Oyakhilom's biological what? Biological son. And then now we can dissect the matter that I want to bring forth. That's why it's important that we establish whether this one is really Oyakhilome's biological son. And why is Chris Oyakhilome allowing this boy to terrorize young ladies? Because this boy is actually a pastor as well. He has been receiving awards after awards. He has been celebrated by Chris Oyakhilome and the entire Christ embassy at large. They hold him on a very high regard. If you can check, when Oyakhilome goes onto the stage, this boy follows him. He's always with Oyakhilome everywhere. And Oyakhilome is so proud of this boy, regardless of what this boy does. And Kathy, the alleged mother, is so proud of this boy, regardless of what he has been doing. So is this something that you would rather have us sweep under the carpet, or it's something that has to be spoken about? Defend them all you want. But we don't care. We'll speak the truth at whatever cost. For many souls must be saved. If we allow these scavengers, these Draculas, unchecked, to go unchecked, tomorrow it's your daughter, tomorrow it's your sister, and you feel the pain when you're actually experiencing it in your own family. So when we advocate for victims the way that we are doing, please be very sensitive and be considerate. Don't be selfish and just defend a man that you have never met in person. Most of you don't even know Chris Oyakhilome in person. You just see him from a distance. You've just fallen gullible for all his tactics and all his gimmicks and his eloquent speech and smooth tongue. And you've fallen into believing that he's an angel. He's an anointed man of God. He's not. Very far away from being anointed. I have more anointing in this tiny finger of mine than Chris Oyakhilome has in his entire body. Those are just agents of darkness. They might have accomplished all that you can imagine on this earth, but in their hearts, they're dark. They're rotten. He's a father to you, a spiritual father to you, but when I see him, I see an element of darkness who actually needs to be saved. Himself, he is lost. He needs deliverance. So how can you be delivered by a man who is lost? Think about it. On the next episode, I'll bring you the exhibit and the interview that I did with one of the victims of Desmond Oyakhilome.
Good people, you have heard from Prof S. I want to ask a question. What do you think about this Prof S and all these things? Please drop your comment, drop your opinion on the comment section. Like I always said, as long as you are carrying the cross of Christ, you should expect anything. People will attack you. People will say so many things, the things that you didn't even do. That is why I always, even Christ alone, what he went through alone is a good example. And he said it. He said, for my sake, you'll be persecuted. Is a deep word. Persecution is wide. So a lot will happen to you as long as you are carrying the cross. You are carrying Christ. Things will happen. This is my take on anything that is happening. I am neutral, okay? I'm neutral in all. But at the end of the day, I just want you that is listening to understand it's not just only men of God, it's not just only women of God. As long as you said that you are a Christ-like, a bona fide Christ-like, my brother, my sister, you will get things like this. You will face a lot. Either it's true, either it's not true. You and I, we don't know. But as long as you carry Christ, hey, things like this is just like a daily basis. I'm speaking out of experience. I'm telling you, people. So please share this video and also drop your comment on the comment section. See you in my next video. Bye bye.